What is Enshrouded? Skyrim meets Minecraft. When you first open the game, you emerge from a hyperbolic egg chamber, ready to take on a brave new world, only to discover that you are without any testicular defense. What dastardly coward would isekai a man and only leave him in pants? If the nipples are not safe, then no one is safe. Thus starts your quest to reclaim your strategically helpful interpersonal regulation threads. Or shirt. It's a better plotline than explore. Before traveling too far, you are taught about your menus, which help you keep track of just about everything. Since you don't initially select a class on boot up of the game, the way you choose your battle style is through your skill point allocation in the menus. You obtain said points by leveling your character up or by chopping down shroud roots. It's important to note that level 25 is the character limit, and each shroud root can only be chopped down once to reward a skill point. Just because you reset the server and chop down the respawn shroud root does not mean you get infinite skill points. If you find yourself unsure of what playstyle you wish to commit to, there's no fear of missing out since you can easily reset your skill tree and try other builds for cheap. As you acquire more skill points and subsequently get stronger, you are able to explore farther and discover new resources which you need to upgrade your flame to progress the main storyline. By doing so, you gain access to placeable NPCs. With the use of the bippity-boppity boost stick, you can summon your NPCs to stand in a location where they wave and call out to you incessantly. In return for providing them such hospitable living conditions, the NPCs give access to new items. These new items give access to new areas, which give access to new materials, which give access to new quests from the NPCs, which give access to newer items, and then new areas. And then yup, this game is definitely an RPG. But to throw a traditional twist in there, the game also features production timers! In order to get some of the higher-end items from the NPCs, you have to convert several older materials into a processed, newer material. So now you have Skyrim meets Minecraft meets AFK Machine. This was probably our least favorite aspect of the game because conversion ratios and timers and maths and things. The world can be interacted with, which means that just about everything can be destroyed down into materials. And while it is possible to punch down trees and man-made structures, we advise avoiding such time drains by utilizing tools such as the axe and pickaxe. Said tools get multipliers for destroying their targeted quarry, allowing for faster and safer removal of materials. It's OSHA approved. Much like Minecraft, specific recipes are needed to craft items and structures. Provided you are carrying the correct materials, your vanilla character can craft the essentials, such as the flame altar, with just his bare hands. The flame altar creates your safe zone, which prevents world resets from affecting the designated area so that no monsters or trees can crop up in your home. Additionally, it acts as a fast travel point for easy map traversal. In order to make the actual structure of your house, and thus receive well-rested boosts, you need the almighty Bob the Fix-It Builder Felix hammer. This allows the placement and pickup of building materials within your safe zone. There are preset shapes to assist with the building process. It has a slight learning curve, but the aesthetic build potential is nearly limitless, enabling you to build that cherry red Ferrari paperweight you've always wanted to have in real life, but not been able to convince your wife, who claims it's just a car and you'd never drive it, is a necessary piece of eye candy for the garage. Slightly lesser known, but still just as important, the rake. This bad mammoth jamma is crucial for attaining that perfectly landscaped area you so crave. Too lumpy? Leveled. Need a slope? Y equals mx plus b. Only have one soil and need more? Multiplicatively spread. Perhaps an actual hanging gardens? Hung. The rake had so much power back in the beta that it had to be categorically nerfed. Soldiers running around wielding rakes just didn't quite resonate with the target audience as much as the devs would have hoped. Now, the rake can only be wielded within your safe zone. Rip and lament. The game is open world, but only kinda. Scattered about the map are sections of terrain that are shrouded. These areas enforce a time limit on players, forcing them to traverse the shroud quickly lest they be consumed and die. As a method of gatekeeping certain higher level areas, the devs put in a spicy flavor of shroud called Deadly Shroud, which quickens your timer by about like a gajillion times, killing you very quickly should you step into these areas. We found this method of corralment acceptable, because if you truly wanted to, you could, more often than not, Combine the powerful skills of Skyrim horsing and digging upwards to gain enough altitude necessary to circumvent these gates by gliding over the deadly shroud. Enshrouded has already released a major update, the Hallowed Halls. The overarching theme of this update seems to be horror. Everything from the bone infrastructure of the new dungeons to the new undead and all-around ghoul guy himself, Al, screams that the devs had nostalgic nightmares and killer content on their brains when spitballing ideas. To begin your crusade into this new creepy content, you must first speak with your fellow alchemical power-leveling buddy and esteemed colleague, the Alchemist. He tells you he found a dungeon, but says that you are the chosen one and must complete it yourself. Not me, not the carpenter, you. This kickstarts a new progressive questline that tasks the players with fighting their way through new dungeons known as the Hollow Halls. And believe me, once we were done looting them, they certainly became worthy of the name. These new areas add oodles of new materials to find and enemies to slaughter. There are a total of 4 of these dungeons, which start moderately easy in difficulty and get progressively higher in level as you go, allowing you to get a taste of the new content immediately, regardless of your progress in the main questline. Though as mentioned, you must have first captured yourself the Alchemist NPC. The dungeons themselves are labyrinthian, with hordes of respawning mobs littering their halls. Along the way, the new creepy NPC joins your ranks, providing grim, eldritch services, including a nice nightlife for the boys when they need a snoozle. The macabre nature of this guy and his well-stocked bone wares easily jumps him to number 1 on the Amateus NPC list of approval. And we're looking forward to the next major update, which the devs have already teased. All in all, we found the game to be quite enjoyable. It has action-packed content and resource grind for those players with ADHD, as well as a vast play area for explorers to discover and loot to the ground. Base building has its own appeal for the more creative players, and the countless bits of lore spread throughout the land provide appreciable context to the game world. And although the level cap of 25 was a bit disappointing, the existence of shroud routes provide enough skill points to branch out and acquire many skills for unique and versatile playthroughs. Plus, it's still only in pre-release. We're excited to see how this game shapes up as the journey continues.